Have you ever felt that unbearable emptiness when someone important slips out of your life? Maybe it's a friend who suddenly drifts away, a loved one who leaves this world, or even a part of yourself that you feel is lost forever. That heartache, the silent ache that wakes you up in the middle of the night. If you're going through that right now, you are not alone. What if I told you that there is a profound truth behind this pain? A truth so powerful that it can bring you peace when you feel like the world is crumbling around you? This truth was uncovered by one of the greatest thinkers of the human mind, Carl Jung. His deep insights into loss, grief, and healing can change how you face the hardest moments of your life. In this video, we'll explore what Carl Jung said about losing people and how understanding his wisdom can transform your pain into strength. Because losing people doesn't always mean the end. Sometimes it's the beginning of a new journey inside yourself. Understanding loss, the pain we all know. Loss is something everyone experiences, yet no two losses feel the same. Sometimes it's the sudden goodbye to a loved one who was a part of your everyday life. Other times it's the quiet fading of a friendship that once felt unbreakable. Or maybe it's the loss of your own dreams, your sense of purpose, or the person you thought you were. When we lose someone or something dear, our whole world seems to shake. The pain isn't just in what's gone, but in the space they leave behind. A silent, aching void that no one else can fill. It's a loneliness that sits heavy in the chest. A mix of sadness, anger, confusion, and even guilt. These feelings can hit us like waves, unpredictable and overwhelming. Think about how losing a person can affect your daily life. Suddenly, routines built around them crumble. Places that once felt comforting now echo with memories. You might find yourself replaying conversations, wondering if there was something left unsaid or blaming yourself for what happened. This emotional storm makes it hard to focus, to sleep, or even to imagine a future without them. But loss isn't always about death or separation. Sometimes it's less obvious, but just as painful. It could be losing trust in someone, the end of a job or relationship, or realizing that you no longer fit into a community you once called home. These losses chip away at our sense of stability, making us feel unmoored and vulnerable. Most people try to push these feelings away, hoping they'll fade on their own. We distract ourselves with work, social media, or keeping busy, but deep down, the pain stays, waiting to be faced. That's because loss touches something very deep inside us, the part of the mind that holds our identity, our attachments, and our fears. If we ignore this pain, it can grow quietly and shape how we see ourselves and the world. Sometimes it leads to bitterness, isolation, or even despair. But there's a hidden truth that few understand, that the way we experience loss is connected to how we see ourselves on the inside. And this is exactly where Carl Jung's wisdom shines a light. Understanding loss means more than feeling sad. It means looking closely at what loss reveals about who we are, what we fear, and what we truly need to heal. When we stop fighting our pain and start listening to it, we open a door to deeper self-awareness and peace. In the next section, we will explore who Carl Jung was and why his understanding of the human mind helps us unlock this hidden truth about loss, a truth that can bring you peace even in the darkest moments. Who was Carl Jung? Why should we listen to him? Carl Gustav Jung was more than just a psychologist. He was a pioneer who ventured deep into the hidden layers of the human mind. Born in Switzerland in 1875, Jung spent his life exploring the mysteries of our unconscious thoughts, feelings, and dreams. Unlike many of his peers, he believed that what lies beneath our conscious awareness holds the key to understanding our true selves. Jung's work wasn't just about fixing what's broken, it was about uncovering the parts of ourselves we often refuse to see, the shadow parts. These shadows include our fears, regrets, pain, and even the parts of us that society tells us to hide. According to Jung, healing begins when we acknowledge these hidden sides and accept them as part of who we are. His concepts, like the collective unconscious and archetypes, might sound complicated, but at their core, they explain a universal human experience, the struggle between light and darkness inside every one of us. Why is this important when we talk about loss? Because loss shakes us to our core. It makes us confront these hidden parts of ourselves. When someone leaves or a part of our life changes forever, it's not just an outside event. It's an internal journey that forces us to face what we have been avoiding inside. Jung called this journey individuation, the process of becoming whole by integrating every part of ourselves, including our pain and grief. It's a path to self-discovery and healing that requires courage and honesty. By understanding Jung's ideas, we can learn to see loss not just as an end, but as a doorway to personal growth. His insights offer us tools to face our grief with compassion and strength, rather than fear and denial. In the next part, we'll dive into the core truth Carl Jung revealed about losing people, a truth that can bring peace to your heart, even in moments of great sorrow. The truth about losing people. According to Carl Jung, the pain of loss runs so deep that sometimes it feels like life itself has stopped. We tend to think it's simply about someone leaving us, but Carl Jung uncovered a profound psychological truth behind this pain, one that can serve as a guiding light for all of us. Jung famously said, "What we resist persists." In other words, the things we try hardest to push away tend to grow stronger inside us. When we feel the hurt of losing someone, we often resist facing our own pain, anger, or guilt. We try to shut these feelings down or avoid them altogether, hoping they will disappear. But this emotional resistance only prolongs our suffering. Jung introduced the concept of the shadow self, the hidden parts of our psyche that we try to hide even from ourselves. The shadow holds the feelings and thoughts that society teaches us to suppress, our fears, regrets, jealousy, and grief. Losing people forces us face our shadow, the parts of ourselves we've ignored or denied. This confrontation is uncomfortable and painful, which is why many of us avoid it. But according to Jung, true healing begins when we accept and integrate our shadow rather than running from it. This acceptance is part of what Jung called individuation, a journey toward wholeness by embracing every aspect of ourselves, including the painful emotions that come with loss. In this process, we learn to see grief not as a curse, but as a valuable part of our growth and self-understanding. When we stop fighting loss and instead start to accept it, something surprising happens. We find a strange kind of peace. This peace arises because we are no longer struggling to deny our feelings. Instead, we allow ourselves to fully experience and process them. Acceptance is the first step toward healing. Another important insight Jung gave us is about attachments, the deep emotional bonds we form with people, places, or ideas. Naturally, we love those we are attached to, but sometimes our attachments become so strong that when the person or thing is gone, we lose not just them, but a part of ourselves. Jung said true individuation happens when we understand our attachments and learn to hold them lightly instead of letting them control us. This means loving and caring deeply, but not losing our identity in the process. In this way, loss is not just about someone leaving us. It's also a process of reconnecting with ourselves. If we face the shadows inside and integrate our pain, we can find ourselves again, stronger and more whole. To put this in perspective, imagine you have a beautiful flower you water every day. If the flower dies, you feel sadness and loss. But Jung teaches us to remember that the death of the flower doesn't mean the end of life. You still have the soil, your inner self, where new flowers can grow. It's from this inner soil that healing and new beginnings emerge. During times of loss, we often see our pain as negative and something to be avoided. But Jung believed that pain connects us to the deepest parts of ourselves, where real healing begins. Ultimately, Jung offers a powerful message for all of us. Embrace your shadow, don't run from it. It is your truest friend who will lead you to truth and peace in life. How accepting loss can bring unexpected peace. Loss often feels like a heavy storm crashing through our lives, upsetting everything we once took for granted. The first instinct is usually to resist, to fight against the pain, and to hold on tightly to what's gone. But Carl Jung teaches us a very different approach. Acceptance. Acceptance doesn't mean giving up or forgetting. It means fully facing the reality of loss, without trying to deny or avoid the feelings that come with it. When we accept loss, we stop battling our own emotions and start allowing them to flow naturally. This shift from resistance to acceptance is where true peace begins. Imagine standing under a pouring rainstorm. If you fight the rain, trying to block it or run away, it will feel harsh and overwhelming. But if you stop, stand still, and let the rain soak you, you begin to notice something else. The rain cools, cleanses, and eventually passes. Acceptance is like opening your arms to the rain of grief. It allows the pain to move through you instead of staying stuck inside. Carl Jung believed that embracing our feelings of loss is a key part of healing the mind and soul. He encouraged what is now often called shadow work, a process of exploring and accepting the hidden, often uncomfortable parts of ourselves. Through shadow work, we bring to light the feelings of grief, anger, guilt, or loneliness that loss can hide inside us. When we do this work, we give ourselves permission to feel fully without judgment. This permission is powerful. It creates space in our hearts where healing can begin. The pain of loss doesn't disappear overnight, but it starts to lose its grip on us. Another important part of acceptance is understanding that loss is a natural part of life's flow. Just as seasons change and rivers shift course, people and circumstances change too. Jung taught that resisting change only leads to more suffering. When we accept change, including the loss of people, we align ourselves with the natural rhythm of life. Acceptance also helps us reconnect with our inner strength. When we stop trying to control what we cannot change, we can focus on what we do have, our ability to grow, learn, and find meaning even in suffering. Practical ways to start accepting loss include mindfulness, paying attention to your feelings without trying to fix them. Notice your grief, sadness, or anger, without labeling them good or bad. Journaling, writing honestly about your emotions, helps bring clarity and releases buried feelings. Self-compassion, treat yourself gently, recognizing that grief is hard and that healing takes time. Talking or therapy, sharing your loss with trusted friends, family, or professionals can help you feel less alone and better understood. Jung's approach doesn't promise that acceptance will make loss painless. Instead, it offers a way to face loss without losing yourself. It's about transforming suffering into wisdom and heartbreak into hope. Through acceptance, many people discover unexpected gifts hidden inside their grief. A deeper understanding of themselves, a renewed sense of purpose, and a greater appreciation for life's fragile beauty. In the next section, we'll explore how connecting with your inner self and practicing self-love play essential roles in this healing process. The role of inner connection and self-love in healing. When we lose someone important, it's not just the absence of that person we feel. It's also a disruption of our sense of self. Loss can shake our identity to its core, leaving us questioning who we are without that connection. Carl Jung understood this deeply, and he taught that healing from loss involves reconnecting with the most essential part of ourselves, our inner self. Jung described the self as the center of our being, the guiding light inside us that remains whole, even when everything around us changes. When we lose someone, we may feel fragmented, as if a piece of our puzzle is missing, but the self remains intact beneath the surface. Reconnecting with this inner center helps us feel grounded and secure. This inner connection comes from turning our attention inward, learning to listen to our own feelings, thoughts, and needs with kindness and patience. It means giving ourselves permission to grieve, but also to find moments of peace and joy again. A powerful tool Jung suggested for this process is self-love. Self-love isn't about selfishness or vanity. It's about treating yourself with the same care and compassion you would offer a dear friend who is hurting. When we practice self-love, we acknowledge our worth regardless of our losses and imperfections. Why is this important? Because loss can sometimes lead us to blame ourselves or feel unworthy of happiness. We might tell ourselves, "I don't deserve to move on," or "I should be stronger." These harsh inner judgments only deepen the wound. By cultivating self-love, we soften this inner criticism. We start to understand that healing is a journey, not a race. We learn to accept ourselves fully, our strengths and weaknesses, our joys and sorrows. Jung believed that this process of acceptance and self-love allows us to integrate our shadow, the hidden parts of ourselves that include pain, fear, and grief, with our conscious self. This integration leads to greater wholeness and inner peace. Practicing inner connection and self-love can take many forms, including meditation and mindfulness, sitting quietly and observing your inner world without judgment. Affirmations, repeating kind and encouraging phrases to yourself, such as "I am worthy of love and healing." Creative expression, writing, painting, or any form of art that allows you to express what's inside. Setting healthy boundaries, giving yourself space and time to heal without pressure from others. Seeking support, engaging with supportive communities or professionals who honor your healing journey. Remember, healing is not about forgetting the people we have lost, but about learning to carry their memory gently while moving forward. When we connect with our inner self and practice self-love, we create a foundation strong enough to hold the pain and beauty of life. This foundation helps us to embrace change and open ourselves to new beginnings, which is what we will explore in the next section. Moving forward, embracing change and new beginnings. Loss, by its very nature, marks an ending, but every ending also holds the seed of a new beginning. Carl Jung understood this deeply. While losing someone or something can feel like the closing of a chapter, it also opens the door to transformation and growth. Embracing change after loss is difficult because it requires us to step into the unknown. Our natural instinct is to cling tightly to what's familiar, even when it causes us pain. But Jung's teachings remind us that resisting life's changes only prolongs suffering. When we learn to flow with life's natural rhythm, we allow ourselves to heal and grow. Moving forward doesn't mean forgetting or replacing those we have lost. Instead, it means finding a new way to carry their memory while living fully in the present. It's about building a life that honors both the past and the future. Jung called this journey the process of individuation, becoming our true selves by integrating all our experiences, including grief and loss. This process invites us to discover strengths, values, and insights we might not have known we possessed. In practical terms, embracing new beginnings might look like exploring new interests or passions that bring you joy and meaning. opening yourself to new relationships while honoring your past connections, finding purpose through helping others who are also grieving, allowing yourself to dream again, even if it feels scary at first. Courage is key in this journey. Jung believed that true courage is not the absence of fear, but the willingness to face uncertainty and change despite that fear. Remember, healing and growth are not linear. There will be days of joy and days of sadness. This ebb and flow is part of life's natural dance. What matters is that you keep moving forward gently and with self-compassion. By embracing change and new beginnings, you allow your inner self, the wise and whole center Jung spoke of, to guide you toward peace and fulfillment. Your peace awaits losing people we care about is one of life's most difficult experiences. It shakes us deeply and leaves us feeling broken. Yet, as Carl Jung's wisdom teaches us, within this pain lies a path to peace, a journey of acceptance, self-discovery, and healing. We have learned that resisting our grief only makes it stronger. Instead, by embracing our feelings, including the shadow parts of ourselves we often avoid, we open the door to true healing. Acceptance does not mean forgetting or moving on too quickly. It means allowing ourselves to feel fully and gently, without judgment. Connecting with our inner self and practicing self-love are essential steps along this path. They help us rebuild our sense of identity and find the strength to carry both our pain and our memories with compassion. Through this process, we become more whole, more resilient, and more alive. Finally, loss invites us to embrace change and new beginnings. It challenges us to step bravely into the unknown, trusting that life's flow will carry us toward growth and meaning once again. Your peace is not far away. It is already within you, waiting for you to claim it. Remember the words of Jung. Embrace your shadow. It is your truest friend that will lead you to truth and peace. No matter how hard today feels, know that healing is possible. You are not alone on this journey. May you find comfort in these truths and the courage to walk your path with hope and grace. FAQ: Understanding Loss and Finding Peace. Carl Jung's Wisdom. Why does losing someone hurt so much? Losing someone hurts because we form deep emotional attachments. Our brain and heart are wired to connect, so when someone leaves, it feels like a part of us is missing. Jung explains that this pain also uncovers hidden feelings inside us, making loss deeply emotional. Q2. What does Carl Jung mean by the shadow self? The shadow self is the part of our mind that holds feelings and thoughts we often hide, even from ourselves. It includes fears, grief, and anger. Facing our shadow helps us understand and heal our pain rather than letting it control us. Q3. How can accepting loss bring peace? Acceptance means facing the reality of loss without fighting it. When we accept our feelings, we allow grief to flow naturally instead of trapping it inside. This release brings emotional relief and starts the healing process. Q4. What is individuation in Jung's psychology? Individuation is the journey of becoming whole by accepting all parts of ourselves, including our pain and shadows. Through this process, we grow emotionally and spiritually, finding peace and strength after loss. Q5. How does self-love help in healing from loss? Self-love teaches us to treat ourselves kindly during hard times. Instead of blaming or punishing ourselves, we give compassion and patience, which creates a safe space for healing and growth. Q6. Is it okay to still feel sadness after a long time? Yes, grief has no fixed timeline. Feeling sadness or missing someone even after years is natural. Healing is a process with ups and downs, and it's okay to feel your emotions as they come. Q7. How do I start connecting with my inner self? You can start by practicing mindfulness, meditation, journaling, or simply spending quiet time alone reflecting on your feelings. Listening without judgment helps build that inner connection Jung talks about. Q8. Can loss ever lead to positive change? Absolutely. Though painful, loss often pushes us to grow, discover new strengths, and find new purpose. Jung believed that through loss, we can transform and become more complete versions of ourselves. If this video touched you or helped you understand loss in a new way, please give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who might need this message today. I'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Your story might inspire others on their healing journey. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you won't miss future videos that explore deep, meaningful topics like this. Remember, you are not alone. Healing and peace are possible, and together we can walk this path with courage and compassion. Thank you for watching, and take good care of yourself.